everyone, it's Michelle here or Mishcrafts, and today I'm going to show you guys how to make these super tiny Halloween candy squishies, so let's get started with the materials. First, you're going to need some white puffy paint and various scissors, something to hold your squishies on while drying, toothpicks and paintbrushes, acrylic paints, and lastly some earplugs to make these squishies. So the first design I'm going to show you guys are these sphere looking candies. So first you want to prepare 2 earplugs and make sure they have rounded ends. Essentially you just want to make a sphere from these 2 earplugs, and by doing that I just cut off the end of the earplugs. In the end you want to have 2 half spheres, and when you put them together you make a whole sphere. I honestly do not need to explain because I know you guys are smart enough to know what a sphere looks like, right? And you can make as many as you want depending on how much earplugs you have, so I went ahead and made 2 other ones. Once you're done, go ahead with some white puffy paint to act as a base color before we actually paint the colors, if you guys know what I mean. Now that your squishies are dried and kind of look like this, it is time to actually paint on the colors of the candy squishies, so I decided to paint them pink and blue. This took about 1 thick coat to get everything really opaque. And the last thing really is to paint a face if you want, but since I'm going for the kawaii theme, I went on and painted a face, and it doesn't really look like a candy squishy. It kind of looks like 2 spheres with faces on them, so to make it actually look like a candy, I decided to put some packaging, or as you would say, a wrapper on the candy. And to do that, I cut a portion of some random plastic packaging and wrapped it on a squishy like you would wrap an actual candy. Since the squishy is so tiny, I secured the twisty ends with some pieces of tape. And that's really all there is to it. It's super tiny, but very cute at the same time. Now let's move on to these kawaii marshmallow squishies. To begin, I recycled the cutoff piece from the sphere candy and cut off a cylinder shape for the marshmallow squishies, because we don't want to waste any earplugs here. And by now you probably guessed it, we're going to paint the squishy with some white puffy paint as the base color. But then again, a typical marshmallow is white, so just continue painting it white until it's opaque. Since my squishy had air trapped inside of it, I decided to puncture it a little bit to release some of the air and make it slow rising. To make it a little bit spooky, I decided to add some chocolate sauce or any type of marshmallow topping on top of it because a plain marshmallow is just too boring for Halloween. And lastly, to finish them off, I decided to paint a kawaii face on each of them, and they just look 10 times cuter now. Moving on to the last Halloween squishy in this video, it is the candy corn squishy. And again, using the cut off end of the last squishy, I basically cut off a triangle for the candy corn squishy. I honestly feel like you need to know your shapes because this whole video is about cutting out shapes. For real. Then after all that cutting, paint it with some white puffy paint again. After the squishy has completely dried, it is time to paint the candy corn squishy, and the order of the colors are white at the top, orange in the middle, and yellow at the bottom. So since the squishy was already white, I decided to skip the top part and go straight to the orange and then the yellow lastly. And the last optional thing you need to do is paint on a kawaii face, and that is it. This video was so fun and super easy to do. As you guys can probably tell, I just squeezed in 3 different types of tiny squishies you guys can make in this video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and by the time I upload this video, it's my birthday, so wow, how ironic. I mean, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys, and happy Halloween, early Halloween, I guess.